Hi everyone. So we are beginning the last chapter of the grammar crash course, and then you are rid of me. And in today's chapter, we are doing the third one of the drama section. It's called "Around the World in 80 Days" by Jules Verne. Now, see, this Jules Verne, he is a French writer, a French author, and he obviously writes scripts only in French. This chapter that we are reading right now in English, it is a translation of it. Okay, he himself does not write in English, and as a matter of fact, Jules Verne is the most translated author. Most translated, meaning most of his works, or maybe all of his works, have got translated into various languages like English, Spanish, and German, and so forth. Now, the reason for translating is because his writings are very, very good and they've got worldwide fan following. Okay, there are a lot of movies made on this, a lot of series made on this. You may have heard of this movie, a very famous one by Jackie Chan, by the same name, Around the World in 80 Days. It is a journey. This chapter, this novel, basically, we are studying only some chapters of it, but I'll try to give you some extra information also about the novel. I've read the novel, it's really nice. I'm yet to see the movie Jackie Chan wala. I'll try to see that. And the novel, coming to this novel, Around the World in 80 Days. Now, the novel's basic line, the storyline is very simple. A travel by some people around the world and 80 days. So, as the novel's name suggests, it is a journey of the person from day 1 to day 80. Okay. Now, the way it has been written, it is an adventure series. It is an adventure novel where a lot of last moment changes, a lot of situational comedy, and a lot of thrill is what is got when the the scene is going on. Okay. And it will be a thrill to read probably after 12th if you are into reading, or if you're wanting to start getting into reading. This is something that you should be on the lookout for. Probably this can be your first novel that you are starting to read, and you will really enjoy it, is what I feel. A very simple language, basic storyline, and a lot of thrill. This can be like a regular sitcom, regular comedy series hota hai, where there is no continuation of the story. That episode ends at that episode only. जो start हुआ episode में end हो गया, and it is a full stop. You don't need to keep on watching it episode by episode to know the storyline. That is how this also goes. Kind of the basic background, the plot is the same. His travel and a challenge where he's told to travel the world in 80 days. Okay, a very nicely written one, and I'm sure you'll enjoy listening to this lecture also because not because of me, it is because of the story, the way it has been knit, nicely written. Now, coming to this, Around the World in 80 Days, we'll first see the characters, who all are people in the story. Phileas Fogg, he's the main character, he's the protagonist. See, main character या तो hero को हम लोग बोलते हैं protagonist. Okay, just for you to know. Hero को बोलते हैं protagonist and villain को बोलते हैं antagonist. Okay, Auda is the female protagonist, you can say, or in our Bollywood language, she is the heroine. Passepartout, now see, the names are strange. Phileas and Passepartout and Auda. Now, because he is a French writer, the name of the character, see, translation mein, name of the characters will not change. It's not like a Hindi dubbing of some movie where ये Ram Shyam हो जाता है, any character becomes Ram and Shyam. No, this is the original script with the original name. Okay, so in the translations also the names don't change. It is French. It's called Passepartout. Okay, he is the protagonist's friend. So you can say hero ka bhai. Okay, and Detective Wicks, as you can see, he is a detective. Now the story starts like this. In this story, the character Phileas Fogg. Now see, Phileas Fogg, he is a rich man. Okay, and even today you must be knowing you must be wondering, sometimes I actually used to wonder, now I come to know, that लोग ये clubs का membership क्यों लेते हैं? लोग गोरेगांव स्पोर्ट्स क्लब and then Hindu Gymkhana and Parsi Gymkhana and Sachin Tendulkar club. What is the use of taking a membership anywhere? क्या फायदा है? Because ultimately you'll end up paying a little every day. Say if you're going for a snack over there, so it does not mean कि मैं ये club का member तो मेरे को free में मिलेगा. No, obviously I will be paying for everything. So what is the use of this then? वो ये club हम लोग क्यों join करते हैं? It is a certain section of society which has this lifestyle कि रोज हम लोग we'll be having a common place to meet, a common hangout place where you understand that because it is a club like a sports club or something, it is only affordable for the rich, and that kind of crowd is what is attracted, and you will find like-minded and like culture wala people over there. That is why people go for clubs, not the disco clubs. Okay, so when this it is a story about this conversation that happened in this club called the Reform Club. Okay, Reform Club is the place where the main character Phileas Fogg and many of his friends meet very often, almost every evening. Okay, now because they meet, obviously just like you meet your friends, तो ऐसे ही बैठे बैठे कुछ काम नहीं है तो कुछ भी बकवास करते हैं अपन, ऐसे ही कुछ ना कुछ बात करते जाते हैं. Now while they were just talking and talking about nothing in particular and everything in the world, when they were talking, they just happened to come across this topic of a new train that has started in India. Okay, now see, this story is backdated. It is dated in the year 1872. Okay, so at that time there was this Indian newspaper called the Telegraph or the Telegram, something Telegraph or Telegram, Daily Telegram or Daily Telegraph, ऐसा कुछ है. Now in that there was a news, a headline that a new railway train has started in India. Now because this train has started in India, it will be possible for everyone to go around the world in 80 days. Okay, ऐसा headline था. Now suddenly होता है ना, जरे मालूम पड़ा कि आज वायरस का, कोरोना वायरस का इतना केसेस हो गया, मालूम पड़ा कि इंडिया सीरीज जीत गया, because it is in the headline, it is this like it is spoken about, there are people who would talk about it, and this came up as a conversation that going around the days in around the world in 80 days has become possible because of this train. Now obviously when there is news about this, there are people who will say good about things, there are people who will say bad about it. More often than not, there are people who will say bad about the world in general. कि यार ये सब बकवास है, कुछ भी बोलते हैं लोग, ऐसा सब होता नहीं है, ये सब झूठ है. ऐसा ही बोलते थे, ये सब झूठ है, पता नहीं झूठ क्यों है, पर झूठ है ऐसा. So when this conversation was going on, one talk led to another, one thing led to another, and then suddenly it just got decided that now it is possible to go around the world in 80 days. I will do it. The hero, Phileas Fogg, suddenly जोश में आ गया और बाद में उसने बोला हाँ मैं करता हूँ, चलो. Obviously there are people who will challenge you like नहीं, कुछ भी बोलता है, कुछ भी बकवास बोलता है, करता कुछ भी नहीं है, ये गोरेगांव तक भी नहीं जा सकता है अकेला, you know, something like that. So that is how this conversation starts, and one thing leads to another, one talk leads to another, argument, discussion, challenge, and there is this strange and stupid bet. What is the bet? The bet is Phileas Fogg says, I'll go around the world in 80 days, I'll return exactly after 80 days. And if I do that, we'll bet some money. Okay, some means a big lot of money because Reform Club hai, lot of people, lot of money. So they decide, बाद में, the challenge is 20,000 euros. Euros or pounds or something like that. So this is the amount at stake. Now 20,000 during that time, 1872, and that to euros, would be, I think in today's time, would be close to 20 or 25 crore rupees. Okay, so it was that big an amount, and Phileas Fogg, he was a rich man. Okay, I'll give you an analogy of how much value this had. Phileas Fogg is a rich man. Okay, he has a lot of money, and 20,000 euros is equal to half the money that Phileas Fogg would have. ये आधा पैसा है. Okay, Phileas Fogg, a rich man, का half the value of his worth, self-worth is 20,000 euros. So you can imagine how much value 20,000 euros would have. So as I told you, say 20 or 25 crores in today's time. Okay, so that was the big bet. Okay, obviously he would get 20 or lose 20. It means if the challenge is not complete, he would have half the money that he has today. Okay, and not all the money that you have is in cash in your pocket. The money that you have can be in the form of a house, it can be in the form of a car, some assets, your office. So, in hand, say for example, if I have 100 rupees, my worth is 100 rupees, थोड़ा ज़्यादा है मेरा उससे, but example के लिए, if it is 100 rupees, I'll not have all 100 rupees in cash. I may have, say, 60 rupees in the form of assets. House, car, bike, property, though car and bike are not assets. But things that I don't have in liquid cash. So if I have to pay this much, it will be the end of the liquid cash that I have with me. Okay, ऐसा होगा is what I am saying. Still, Phileas Fogg takes this very difficult or a challenging challenge, and they decide that he decides that I will go around the world. Okay. He takes his friend Passepartout along with him कि चल तू भी साथ में चल, मैं अकेला मरने तो जा रहा हूँ, तू भी साथ में आ जा. Obviously, Passepartout will not give any money if they lose, but he is just an accomplice, a friend, a helper, a company with him. And so they decide कि चलो. Now this is happening. Where is this happening? Euros may have given you some clue. That is the UK somewhere. It is London. Okay. London is where their journey is starting from. Obviously, it has to end in London only. ये लोग यहाँ पे रहते हैं. Alright. So the journey starts where Phileas Fogg and Passepartout, they both leave from London, and this is the chart. This is how they spend their days. The challenge is exactly 80 days. See, 80 का 79 चलेगा, 80.5 नहीं चलेगा, 80 days 1 hour नहीं चलेगा. They will have to reach back exactly at the same time. They leave on the 2nd of October 1872 at 8:45 p.m. And they have to reach back by this time is what the challenge is about. Okay? They go to different countries, from one to the other, from the other to the other, the other to the other. And the book actually, see, this is the basic plot. The book where the fun is in the journey. What happens in this episode? When they are going from London to the Suez in Egypt, in these 7 days क्या होता है is what makes the whole novel very interesting. Okay? Obviously we are just having some excerpts, some chapters only, but ये पूरा अगर novel पढ़ रहे हो तो you will actually like it. You can target it maybe for 10 days. ये 10 दिन में novel अपने को थोड़ा पढ़ के I can finish it off. Before the exam, obviously these 4 chapters, 34, 35, 36 and 37 is I think what you have in your text. ये 4 तो अपने को पढ़ने का है ही before your exams begin. So let's begin with this journey where Phileas Fogg and Passepartout, they both have left from their house, and the journey begins where they go from London, where they are right now, to Suez in Egypt. Okay, it takes them 7 days. From there, from Suez to Bombay. Now see, back then it was not Mumbai, it was Bombay only. Most of us call it Bombay even now, but officially it was Bombay. It is a 13 days journey, and they move from Bombay to Calcutta. Now between this time, these 2 people have left. Okay, कौन कौन है? Phileas Fogg and Passepartout are in the journey. During that time, because India was so primitive, 1872, the custom of sati was still going on. Okay, sati, I'm sure all of you know it. I'll just tell you. पद्मावत देखा होगा शायद तुम लोग ने, पद्मावती नाम है, but controversy made it पद्मावत. So पद्मावत में भी you may have seen this mention कि what happens is if the husband of a lady dies, she also has to get burnt in the same चिता, उस पे ही बैठ जाने का है उसको. Now obviously it was very harsh and cruel for the female, but it was a custom that was followed and kept being followed for years together. Now this lady Auda, obviously ये भी French नाम ही लग रहा है, या तो इसको लगाएगा Auda रखते हैं नाम तो रख दिया. Either ways, so Auda also had been decided to go sati. Like, people were forcing her to go sati. Obviously, her husband had died. She did not want to, but she had to. So what these people of the village decided, okay, we'll drug her. इसको हम लोग अफीम दे देते हैं, अफीम चरस गांजा whatever, some drugs. We'll drug her and we'll force her to go sati, force her to sit in the chita. Okay. This was happening when these two people were around in India. And Passepartout and Phileas Fogg both felt this to be a very pitiful plight. कि ये तो यार बहुत खराब situation है, and we don't want this to happen. We cannot let this happen, is the way they said. So they did a lot of things to save her, Auda, and rescued her from that situation where they all ran away from there. Okay. Now, अभी Auda का है तो obviously that will take time. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि सिटी में जाए चल Auda अपन भागते हैं और बाइक पे बैठ के भाग गए. No, it is going to be a little challenging because the people are hell bent, the villagers are hell bent कि नहीं इसको तो हम लोग निकालेंगे ही दुनिया से ऊपर. So in this bid of saving Auda, they happened to waste 12 hours. They knew that they will be wasting a lot of time, but both these people, Phileas Fogg and Passepartout, they are both in favor of this, that it is okay. Even if we lose out on 12 hours or we lose out on all the money also, we cannot let go of a person's life. So they rescue her, save her, and she also runs with them to Calcutta. Okay? And Auda, because she has no other work now, she also decides to join them in their journey. Okay? So they continue the journey. From Calcutta, they go to Hong Kong, the Victoria place in Hong Kong, and later on from Hong Kong to Japan, Japan to San Francisco, USA, USA to New York. Abhi New York say they go to London. There is a slight twist over here. You must be wondering कि ये detective fix का काम क्या है? कि ऐसा कौन सा detective है जो अभी तक छुप के बैठा है? Now, Detective Fix had always suspected these people, Phileas Fogg and Passepartout, for a big robbery that had happened. So throughout the journey, this fellow, Detective Fix, he always gets Phileas Fogg and Passepartout in a fix. In a troublesome situation where he keeps troubling them. Again, ilzam lagata hai, and he tells them, no, you are the culprit. And then because he does not have proof, these two people happen to get away. So throughout the journey, wherever they go, Detective Fix also follows them, because he is very much convinced that these are the ones who are the troublemakers. When they leave from London, there is a bank robbery that has happened over there, and ever since then, he suspects them. So see how this Jules Verne has made this entire journey, where Detective Fix, he keeps coming in various scenes and wastes these people's time. And the most important part of the journey is the timeline. इसमें time waste हो रहा है तो नहीं चलेगा, 80 days ही है. So these 12 hours or the time that Detective Fix wastes is very, very precious time, and this is something that is kept in the forefront. This is the highlight of the whole setup, where time waste हो रहा है and the readers are hooked. क्या रे यार ये Detective Fix वापस आ गया. Now there is going to be a trouble situation. Why? Because it is basically a race against time. Okay, running from here to there, there to there. So that is where the readers get hooked. क्या रे यार just खत्म ही होने वाला था ये problem and नया problem आ गया. That is how the thrill increases. Very nicely written. Now, at the end of the journey, 80th day pe, they were almost on target. They would reach London on target on the decided date, 21st of December, and they would be in London. Back in London, 80 days plus 20,000 in their earnings. And because of Detective Fix, they happened to waste a lot of time. Okay, at the end, a very, very crucial moment in the whole novel, in the whole journey, and Detective Fix is troubling them and wastes a lot of precious time. Because of this, the last journey, that is from New York to London, that gets delayed, and they miss the last train by 5 minutes, and now there is no way that they will be able to reach London in time. So because of this last trouble, twist in the tail, these people are going to lose 20,000 euros, half of their property, half of their earnings, and Phileas Fogg, he apologizes to Passepartout and Auda that because of me or some wrongdoings, we are all going to be very poor. Up to now, Phileas Fogg and Auda have developed a romantic feeling towards each other. Okay, so that is when he feels very bad that he is not able to do good in spite of reaching so much towards the end. Okay, later on that same day, Passepartout comes up with the news that we are in fact one day early. It is not the 21st of December, it is the 20th of December technically. Now why is this 20th December and 21st December ka confusion? It is because, see, when you are traveling from here to some other country, from some other country to other country, other country to other country, you are traveling various time zones. Okay, just like you must be knowing about India and the USA. यहाँ पे दिन है तो उधर रात है. So there is maybe a 12-hour, maybe an 18-hour, maybe a 24-hour shift in the timings. So because of this time shift, they are traveling through various time zones. At the last day, they realize that according to our watch, it is the 21st of December, but according to the world clock and the location that we are traveling from, that is USA, to that is UK, we are going to save that 24-hour ka time lag. Okay, and finally they happen to reach back in London on the 21st of December 1872, happen to earn 20,000 euros in the challenge. Phileas Fogg gets married to Auda, gives some money to Passepartout and Detective Fix, and the story ends in a very happy note. Okay, so this was Around the World in 80 Days. Just go through the chapters, you'll really find them interesting, and we'll try to meet in person once before your board exam at least. There are some assignments that I had given you in grammar, and when we meet in person, we'll also be checking those. Until then, bye everyone, and I'll see you in person before your board exams. See you.